All right, I watched Bratz Fashion Pixies, and I have a lot of thoughts, opinions, questions. Opening question is this movie about... Did you guys see this movie when you were younger? Because I didn't. First, I just want to say hi, my name's Casey. I'm doing this new mini-series where I do deep dives on the Bratz movies, make fun of them, commentate on things. And today we're having an important discussion about Bratz Fashion Pixies and whether or not it's really about substance abuse. If you clicked on this video, chances are that you've heard of the Bratz animated movie series or even watched this movie at some point. So if you haven't, definitely go watch my other videos and this, that, and the other. Subscribe if you want to be blessed with good fortune. Subscribe if you sometimes throw an adult tantrum when no one is looking because you can feel your skin. I don't know what to think about. I'm gay and upset. The title isn't clickbait because this movie has been known to many as being about substance abuse or really anything related to teenagers doing horrible things that they're not supposed to do. Bratz Fashion Pixies definitely has a much darker undertone than the other movies that we discussed so far. I'm definitely not the first to point this out because I actually saw Melody Moon's video pop up on my homepage and I thought, that's probably bullshit. As of making this, I haven't watched her video because I kind of like going into these things blind, but I can tell you right now that my take on this is completely different. I don't think this movie is about substance abuse. Let's just get that out of the way. We have a lot to unpack here, so first I want to give a breakdown of this movie's most important characters. Of course, we're always going to have the OGs, so just as a refresher, we have Sasha, Jade, Chloe, and Yasmin. Dylan is also in this, and he's still weird and makes me uncomfortable.
Now I just gotta get her number from my LBB, Little Black Book.
This movie also has a few new key characters that all look exactly the same to me. We have Brianna, her older sister Cymbeline, and Lena, who sometimes looks exactly like either Brianna or Cymbeline, depending on how she wears her hair. We're gonna learn more about Lena later, but we'll start with the two sisters for now. Lately, Cymbeline has been acting really different. She's mean, and she never wants to do anything.
Who cares? Hey, what's going on? Around here? Nothing.
You guys, it's okay. She's just unmedicated with the ADHD. Wait, I don't think that's the message here. Cymbeline is over-cymbalated, and she needs to see a psychiatrist. It's Cymbeline's birthday, and she's like, Dad, I fucking hate you because you didn't give me what I wanted.
Dad, I already told you what I wanted.
And there's some context to that we'll find out later. Brianna tries to lighten the mood a little bit. She asks how she should ask a boy to the Magnolia Ball on Saturday, and Cymbeline is just not having it.
At school, he's in your class, and you want him to ask you out. Who cares?
Mom is also not in the picture. Cymbeline decided that it's an appropriate time to throw that in Brianna's face.
We sisters have got to stick together, right? Like Mom always said. Well, Mom didn't exactly stick with us.
She just hates her whole fucking family. She's just very aggressive and needs to just vibe and watch cartoons. Eat some cookies. Stop being such a shit mood and ruining everyone's day. Cymbeline has made it very clear that she is anti-family. Family is cringe, okay? She just wants to be a grown-up and be cool. She also is really, really tiny here for some reason. It's probably the drugs. Later that night, she sneaks out and is definitely up to no good. Okay, it is crack time, everybody. Brianna goes to follow her, and Cymbeline is harnessing the power of something. This movie periodically plays some fire techno music too. It really goes hard. Anyways, the rest is a mystery, and I'm not supposed to tell you what her problem is yet. So that was the prologue. They've definitely earned my curiosity. I need to know what this hoe is on. Our story starts with Chloe, Yasmin, Cymbeline, and Dylan sitting together in science class. Cymbeline clearly did not get enough sleep last night with her like harnessing light balls in the sky or whatever she's up to.
Hey, Cymbeline! What? Time to do our experiments? Sorry.
Definitely not interested in contributing to the group science project. Cymbeline definitely did not do her part, and Chloe is not having that. Dylan also archives the names and numbers of a bunch of women in a book he likes to call his Little Black Book, or LBB for short.
I've got all my honeys in my LBB.
That is a red flag, okay? Everybody needs to avoid this reptile at all costs. In comes Lena, who I originally thought was Brianna when I watched this movie for the first time. But no, this is a completely new character, and at this point of the movie, we don't know anything about Lena except that Cymbeline is involved with her in some way. After class, Dylan has his eyes set on Lena, but he runs into Brianna. You see how I thought they were the same person? Brianna is in love with Dylan and really wants to hang out with him at the Magnolia Ball on Saturday, but Dylan is too busy acting like a massive douchebag to notice because he's checking out Lena. Chloe confronts Cymbeline for not pulling her weight in the group project, and Cymbeline is a giant asshole about it. The girls think something is off about her and start questioning why she's been acting strange all of a sudden.
Well, I guess some people grow up, others don't. Sorry, gotta lie.
Look at them. They're all like, damn, I think Cymbeline's on All the OG girls and Dylan are hanging out, talking, and a bird steals Dylan's backpack. And in his backpack, he has his LBB in it, and Dylan just cannot lose that. He is zooming down the road, chasing after this damn bird, not following the speed limit, puts other people in danger, chases the bird all the way into the forest of hell. Dylan crashes his bike. Out of nowhere, Lena pops up behind him. His bike is all fixed.
Wouldn't want to lose your LBB.
My backpack.
And she coerces him to follow her towards what sounds like a rave. We will find out what the significance of rave music is in this movie a little later. The girls are also helping set up the Magnolia Ball and are having issues with Cymbeline again because she was supposed to help out and she just didn't show up. What a surprise. We also learn that Cymbeline and Brianna's dad is funding the whole thing and that Cymbeline is the lead organizer, which further emphasizes how she's completely checked out of her social life. Chloe says, you know what? This is weird. I think we should go check up on her. Yasmin's on board with this. Sasha and Jade, they don't want to get involved for whatever reason. Later that night, Brianna catches Cymbeline sneaking back in the house again, and Brianna refuses to let her sister off the hook this time until she tells her what's going on. Initially, Cymbeline is just mean about it, but as soon as Brianna threatens to tell Dad, Cymbeline gets increasingly aggressive.
You do that, then you can forget you ever had a sister. Ow! You're hurting me!
Then she does that thing do where they hurt someone and emotionally manipulate the victim into doing exactly what they want by specifically using language they know the victim will respond to.
You won't tell him, will you? We sisters have to stick together, remember? We sisters have got to stick together, right?
Brianna is reluctantly convinced to keep her secret, and Cymbeline is talking about how she can't wait to show her what she's been doing.
It's really great. I can't wait to show you.
She wants to show her the crack. The Bratz show up at their gate and ask Brianna a bunch of questions into the intercom, and Brianna pretends like Cymbeline isn't there and she acts all weird.
I gotta go. Homework. Bye.
The girls are definitely convinced that crack is afoot. Jade and Sasha kind of pair up and they decide that they want no part in this infiltration into Cymbeline's personal life, especially when it involves breaking and entering. I can't really blame them because I would be worried that these people would kidnap me or something. I don't fuck around with people who have secrets, okay? Chloe and Yasmin, on the other hand, decide to investigate and they notice some weird shit going on in the greenhouse. A gnome that Chloe tripped on earlier also magically appears in front of her. They almost get caught by Brianna and Cymbeline's dad until Brianna notices them outside. She tries to get rid of the girls, but Chloe and Yasmin notice a bunch of lights in the distance and they decide to go check that out. And then they see Cymbeline and they're like, oh my God. It all makes sense now. She's a Woo, look at her buzz around in the sky. Cymbeline, why didn't you help with the science project? Why weren't you fulfilling your responsibilities? Because if you were smoking the pipe, I would have understood that a little bit more. But doing that is not an excuse. The guard gnome from earlier starts biting them and chases them out of the premises. Me when I have rabies. The next day at school, we see Lena, who I originally thought was Cymbeline when I first watched this because of the hair. That's very confusing for me. She has Dylan with her acting completely high.
Master, what can I do for you?
Dylan is high as a kite. Chloe and Yasmin try to tell Sasha and Jade about Cymbeline flying around and stuff, but they just don't entertain it at all. They just think they're liars. That conversation gets quickly interrupted by Dylan acting like a Looney Tune.
You were supposed to help me hang lights for the ball yesterday.
What matters where I be? I be here, there, everywhere.
Just go outside, take him out back, and just shoot him. He is not worth it, y'all. Dylan has needed to go for a long fucking time.
Toodaloo.
Chloe and Yasmin also notice Brianna and are like, hey, can you explain your sister flying around? And Brianna refuses to talk about it. The girls just won't let it go. They kind of give her a hard time and she's like, no, I can't talk about this right now. I have a date with Dylan.
Dylan? Well, yeah.
Ooh, Dylan. Dylan asked her, a freshman, to meet her in the forest of hell. The you are, okay? You're going to that forest with Dylan of all people, especially when he's acting like that. And clearly Lena has something to do with Dylan acting foolish. So Chloe and Yasmin insist on coming with her to the forest because they are persistent on finding out what the hell is going on, and they also want to look out for Brianna. They get there and they're searching around for Dylan and find him acting worse. I'm telling y'all, just pop one in the knee and just get it over with. I know you have a Glock in one of your Versace boots, Chloe. And then he runs off into the forest. And y'all, I've been watching enough true crime to know not to follow a lunatic into the Blair Witch Project. They get surrounded by Lena and the weirdest looking people I've ever seen. Now we know what this all really is. They're not doing crack. They're turning people gay. This is what happens when innocent straight people walk into a gay bar. They just get swarmed by bitches with wings and they get turned gay. That's what happened to me, and this is why they're really banning drag shows. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, we see the girls the next day at the mall and they're with Lena and Cymbeline. What's different about them? Yes, correct. They're clearly lesbians now. There's 4 of them. Do you know what there's also 4 of? Yeah. Then they treat their friends like shit because they're in the woke trance.
How come you didn't come to the ball committee meeting? I guess we had something more interesting to do than lame charity work.
Bitch, let me tell you something.
Chloe and Yasmin want nothing to do with Sasha and Jade anymore. They're going to Pride.
We're going to a costume party tonight. Tonight is the Magnolia Ball.
The problem is that the Magnolia Ball starts at the same time as their Pride rave. Sasha and Jade are just very confused and don't know what happened to their friends. They find Brianna crying under the big tree in the courtyard and ask her what's going on, and we find out that she's also been hiding from Cymbeline. Brianna talks about her missing mom, and we get to learn a bit about what happened to her. So we cut to a flashback from 10 years ago where mom is hanging outside with them, and there's a blizzard, but it gets progressively worse, so they run away from it. Couple things. First, I want to ask, why aren't your damn kids wearing a coat? It's January. Why are you dressed like a Whole Foods? Why are you running into an alleyway next to a dumpster and not, I don't know, one of the many stores that you run past? She knocked on one door and gave up. So she leaves them next to a dumpster, gives them a talisman of sorts, and is like, wait here, I'll be right back. She does not come back. She vanishes and she hasn't been seen since. Sasha's like, okay, that's very sad and all, but how does this explain your sister acting weird? So Brianna gives Sasha and Jade glasses that lets you see the 4th dimension, which is where the LGBT community lives. And they're like, wow, they were just here this whole time and we didn't know? We find out that there's good gays and there's bad gays, and they could not be any more different from each other, okay? Pixie is just the politically correct term for this. And Brianna and Cymbeline's dad is just the leader of the good gays. The good gays usually listen to the likes of Sabrina Carpenter or Taylor Swift. These are the Disney gays, the brunch gays, the corporate gays. These are the gays that when they turn 18, that's when they get their pixie wings, okay? But Cymbeline wanted to get them sooner. So where does she turn to? She turns to the baddies. The baddies are unserious, okay? They are far more alternative. They don't give a fuck, okay? They are funny. They're intelligent. You want to party with the baddies, full stop. They typically wear glasses and have brown hair. Not always, it's just common. Okay, the baddies also typically make YouTube videos and have names that start with the letter C. And Brianna doesn't know how Cymbeline got her wings so fast because she's not 18 yet. So they've decided to follow Chloe and Yasmin to wherever they're sneaking off to at night because they assume Cymbeline will be there and will find out more information on what's going on. They would initially follow Cymbeline, but they decide it's easier to follow Chloe and Yasmin since they can't fly. So that night, Brianna is trying to sneak out, but Cymbeline catches her this time and starts questioning her where she's going. I guess this whole time, she wants Brianna to go to the same place that the girls are trying to get to, but Brianna is worried about being there alone with her.
I've got something so much better going on. You don't want to miss it.
So Brianna finally sneaks away from Cymbeline and heads off to her whereabouts with Sasha and Jade. Chloe and Yasmin already left, so they initially have no idea where this place is. They have no plan at this point. They get to the forest, they're walking around looking for Cymbeline and end up getting lost until they hear rave music coming from this gigantic tree. Brianna uses the talisman her mom gave her to give Sasha and Jade the same powers that the glasses they wore earlier gave them, and it lets them enter the rave tree. I want to go to a rave tree. Y'all, the baddies are getting down, okay? The DJ has fucking flashlights on his head. This is the dance party of the century. And Sasha and Jade are like, damn, this music makes me want to shake my ass. But Brianna tells them definitely to not dance.
If you ever join in, you become entranced and a servant of the dark pixie.
Because the music is what turns them into baddies. That's how they lure you in. They call it indoctrination. And that's what happened to Chloe and Yasmin, okay? They listened to some Lady Gaga, and now they're servants of the Dark Pixies. Lena addresses everyone, and we find out that she is the leader of the baddies and has been trying to hypnotize Cymbeline and Brianna and her dad so that she can be the leader of the gays. Brianna is straight up passing out. I don't know why. Maybe she didn't drink enough water or something. Maybe She's low on iron. Suddenly they find Chloe and Yasmin, and they are just so focused on the music that they don't even pay attention to Sasha and Jade. So Brianna holds hands with Sasha and Jade and makes a circle around them to break the spell that they're under. It starts working initially, but then Chloe emotionally manipulates Jade into letting go.
You're my BFF. Let's lose these freaky people. Jade, no!
And Brianna gets caught by Lena. So she tries to convince Brianna into willingly crossing over to become a baddie to get wings.
And you could have your wings now. Come on, Brianna. You'll be able to fly.
But Brianna uses her talisman to destroy the rave, and ultimately Brianna, Jade, and Sasha get stuck underground before they can get outside. And Lena sends all the baddies over to the Magnolia Ball, where the good gays are playing music that is, you know, of a different taste. Then the baddies show up and they take over the DJ station. They start playing baddie music and everyone is immediately ready to throw down. Jesus Christ. The girls are underground trying to figure out how to leave, and the creepy gnome from earlier and his nation of garden gnomes, I guess, saves them. They initially don't know how they're going to get to the Magnolia Ball in time before the baddies consume everyone and take over the world. I guess luckily the gnome has readily available flying Pegasus to take them there. How convenient. Over at the Magnolia Ball, Cymbeline shows up and shows her dad that she has wings. Dad finds out that she is now a baddie. Lena demands that he hands over the entire gay community over to her, and we learn that she was responsible for the blizzard that Mom was stuck in. She was pissed off that the dad banished her for being such a baddie. But oh my god, surprise, surprise! Surprise, surprise! Lena turned Mom into the tree that sits in the middle of the courtyard. This whole time, Mom has been a whole ass tree. I wonder if after that happened, someone went, hey, where did that 400-year-old tree come from? Selena is just talking shit, right? She's like, you can't stop me, I'm so powerful. And then her dad just uses his powers to reverse the spell Cymbeline is under, along with everyone else. And this causes Lena to ultimately crash out. She just starts firing her evil scepter and causes a bunch of commotion. Sasha, Jade, and the army of gnomes come flying in to save the day. But Lena still turns Dad into another tree. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. And it's in such a weird spot in the courtyard too. It's not centered or anything like the other one. Cymbeline wakes up and she's like, damn, this tree is literally my mom. So they all hold hands and make a circle around the tree to break the spell. Mom turns back into a pixie. She's very ethereal. She scares away the baddies, and she also saves her husband. And then Dad turns Lena into a very tiny tree, and that's literally the end of that problem. So wait, could he have just done that this whole time? I mean, wouldn't that have just made a lot more sense than banishing her and then creating this problem that you would eventually have to deal with? The ending of this movie felt really rushed to me, I'm not gonna lie. Because Dad just uses a spell to make everyone forget about what happened. Brianna and Dylan are also kind of romantically involved. We don't hear anything from Cymbeline, and the town is saved. And that's how corporations ruin pride. The end. I'll be honest, y'all. This movie was very, very, very interesting until the final 15-20 minutes. Like, it felt like the ending was very anticlimactic. You mean to tell me that that's how Lena goes out? It was that simple this entire time? Whatever. I've been loving this Bratz series lately. I hope you all like it too. So if you want to be the first to know when I release more of this series or any of my other videos for that matter, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you in the next one.